This is Gifty. Welcome. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you get to see this. I wanted to welcome everybody to my season 5 of the Baller Mom feature series. And today I'm going to have a guest who is going to share his journey with sports, his love of sports, basketball, where it's taken him, what he's doing with it, how he helps us as parents, how he helps his community, and the various aspects that he continues to do, all in the name of sports. So the purpose of the Baltimore Feature Series is to allow individuals within the organization, the community, to showcase, what they're doing, bring forth the work that they do, who they are, so that if you're looking for a new team, you're looking for somebody to help you for specific subjects that, I'll be discussing, you know who to contact. It makes it easier to make that personal connection. So for anybody that is joining, I will have to definitely say, feel free to send a comment, send emails, anything that you want, even afterwards, let me know. But my guest, his name is Chris, and I'm just going to send him an invite right now, just so that he can join us. And he will be able to share his story from there. There you go. Message or the invite, you will see it, and then you will be joined. And I want to say hello to everybody joining in. Okay, Chris has joined, and he's accepting. You just have to turn the camera around the other way.
Oh,
There you
there
are.
we go.
Okay, let me turn my volume up.
Can
There
you hear
we
me?
go. Yes, I can hear you. Good
Beautiful,
evening,
beautiful.
Coach Chris. How are you?
I'm doing marvelously blessed. Yourself?
Good, 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 good. How is back to school starting with you?
Back to school. Jeez. I'm happy. Kids are
Yeah.
gone.
House is a little bit more quiet during the day?
You know what? It can be. Um, it can
Yeah.
be, but listen, I tune out things when I get things going anyway, so
Yeah, that's true. I think the key point for me is the fridge is not open as much. So that's a good
yeah,
thing.
yes, that does happen. I don't, but I'm usually see my thing is I'm usually up and down anyway, so I don't really see the kids all the time, but
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good though. At least we know for a certain period of time of the day, there is some secure place, learning, educating themselves, having fun with your friends, and
that's what soak up
life
that
goes
knowledge.
on. Yes, yes, yes.
Exactly.
Natty's giving you the goat emojis. Yes. Thanks to Natty for joining.
Uh, that's a good old boy,
Thank
the
you, thank
natty.
you. So thank you for coming on here and on the Baltimore Feature Series. You are one of the leaders within the basketball community here in Toronto that is well respected, well spoken of, the different things that you do. So I thought it's best that, I get you on here to also share so that people can know who you are, where you're located, what you do, and find ways to connect with you and help you grow as well too. I already mentioned your name, so I will stop there and I'll let you introduce yourself. So who is Chris Campbell?
That's a good question. I'm still trying to figure him out myself. But honestly, I'm just uh, I'm a father, husband, got kids. I'm a community guy. I do a lot of things in community. I'm a coach. I'm basically one of those guys. I always laugh when I said when I was younger. I'm a Renaissance type of guy. Like I do a lot of different things, and that's just me.
Good.
If I can get involved in something, I can get in, I try to get involved and try to impart or do my fair share in it. And it doesn't matter
Nice.
what it is, I just do it.
Oh, wow. So you're a slasher, multi-talented, all over the place, doing different things. And of course, they're all positive things that you're doing
Yeah,
um,
thank you.
for your community and your family, which is awesome. And
Yep.
because we're in the world of sports, did you yourself play sports when you were growing up? And if so, what was the sports?
Oh, me and sports. First of all, it's sports. When we were growing up, everyone played sports. I don't know if you
Okay.
didn't play sports, I don't know what you were doing, but everyone played sports. So obviously, basketball was one of my loves, but my passion was actually track and field, to tell you the truth. I was a
Okay.
jumper. I love triple jump. I love long jump. And then basketball is next right after that. But I grew up with sports. We played soccer, we played baseball, we played street hockey, We rode our bikes all over the place. We did everything that's athletic or or some type of active activity. We had to do it.
Hmm.
It was just the way
Yeah.
things were.
You didn't have the phone back then to distract you.
No, no. But what's fun? Like, I'm part of the time when Sega Genesis was coming out. I'm gonna date myself a bit. Like,
Ooh.
what the hell? And we didn't even care about that. It was like that was something for the weekend. Oh, our families come over, we'll pull that out then. So we
Hmm.
didn't do that things. After school, we're out there playing. We're gone. Street light comes on. We're like, oh shoot, maybe we should start heading home, type of thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, that's good. Then, just as you're saying, it's bringing me memories of the same thing. As we always say, it's a good old days. It's not just mean you're aging yourself. It just means you've lived. I like to say that.
I lived. I love that. That's a good way for. I love that
Yeah,
phrase.
you've
Yes, we
lived,
lived.
and they have their time now, but we've lived, and time have changed, which is good because we've adapted, right? Which is great.
Mhm.
And then, what is the hardest or the best part about being in that sports world now that you're an adult and a business and doing various things related to it?
You say what's my
Best or hardest part about it being part within the whole sports world?
um. You know what? Uh, I I like sports, so I like being part of the sports industry and at all levels. So to me, we have an opportunity to actually shape and develop something and create something. I like creating things, something that didn't exist or improving something that already exists.
Hmm.
So to me, when I look at what's going on now or where I even came from how I started, I just like being a part of the process. The process is a beautiful thing.
Nice.
And I think that's the best part of being a part of the sports industry. There's always something happening,
Mhm.
just innovative things happening all the time. What
Yep.
we thought was the end of what we thought was the way to do things 10 years ago is not how we do it now, or
Mm-mm.
5 years ago. So,
Mm-mm.
and if you're part of the cutting edge of that new development, it's even better, right? You get to see it firsthand and how it impacts not just the community but youth, you know.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
And you being part of it from the onset, at early stages, all the way guiding these individuals, whatever their benefits and challenges are, I think it's a great thing. So now let's dive into what makes you a coach, like your club, what you guys stand for, what you do, where you're located, and somebody's giving you comment that's saying that the GOAT Coach Chris. So much shout out to you.
thanks. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, appreciate that. Appreciate that. I'm the quiet guy, so you don't really know too much about me. I'm not, I'm usually behind the scenes. I walk around and not like my counterparts, like my boy Chippy or something, who's like him, you see him. I'm
Yeah.
a more quietly back type of person. Uh, but so if we're gonna talk about, I guess what motion.
Sure. Yes, go ahead.
So, when man, motion was basically sorry that I got in this whole thing almost 20 years ago when I think about it. It's kind of crazy when you think.
Wow.
And
Hold on.
yeah.
RWI Steven is saying you're far from quiet. So, yeah, it's okay. We know who's
See,
the quiet one and the loudest ones are, but that's all right. I'll
see that,
take it.
but Steve's my brother. That's the reason why he knows
Yes.
me a different way.
Yes.
He's like, oh please, he ain't quiet.
Steven, I'm
So
quiet too. I'm a very shy person, okay?
yeah, man. Steven's problem that I'm trying to get him to bucket hats. I'm trying to get him more bucket hats, and one day he'll start wearing them. But until then,
Nice. Nice.
shout out to RWI Steven. Um,
All right. Yes. So sorry about that. Get back into
no, no, no,
motion.
no. Yeah, so motion, we're a little different than most sports clubs. And I really say that we are a different group. My approach on motion when we started about 18 years ago was that, well, first of all, we're youth and children focused on organization. You know, we focus on skill development and life skills. That's
Hmm.
that's what it is, right? So sports
Okay.
development and life skills is what we focus on. So I consider us like the boys and girls club, but sports, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that's what makes it a little different. So when you get into emotion, um, it's like we look at it and we tier it. So we have groups that are entry level, we have fun with them, it's entertaining, we get them to love the sport. We have intermediate groups that, are starting to love the game, trying to get better, they're showing some signs that they want to get better. We
Hmm.
we entertain that, we get right coaches to support that. And then we got elite level where it's like, okay, listen, they want to do something with this sport and take it to the next level. And we support that, but we also partner with other groups. to make sure those dreams happen, right?
Nice.
So, and one thing I learned doing this is that everyone tries to come in and tries to do everything. Like they want to be elite kids, they want to be this, but it doesn't work that way. It's like you got to fit in where you got to get in where you fit in. And
Yeah.
we've been always a development group. There's a lot of people out there who said they played for motion, and I don't have no, and they left. They played, they got started, and they went somewhere else. I'm fine with that because I know
Hmm.
where we started. We get your feet wet, we get your feet warm, we get you going a little bit, get a little movement, and then depending how you take it, either you're with us and you go further with it. We were a pleasure to see kids who play for us, win championships for college, like on the Humber College team this past season. I
Yeah.
was so happy to see, some of the players who played for us there. It was nice seeing, players on Hamilton on Honey Badgers. Michael played for us, and they won a champ. So those are guys who played for us
Yeah.
but they started with us, but they ended with us. But we're a part of that journey,
You're part of it.
and being part of someone's journey is really important. You don't have to be at the finish line. Is
Hmm.
being a part of the journey and being recognized for being a part of the journey is important to me.
Yeah, I like that. I like that because, like you said, there are some organizations and everybody is a different level. But once you understand where you fall within that process, are you in the early stages? Are you in the middle tier part of it? Are you the elite or pro level? Whatever it is, based on each child or each athlete's journey, as long as you're supporting them and guiding them through it, that's great. And I like that you have that. You motion has to be able to identify all the three different levels that
Mhm.
for each one. It's such a clarity as to when you're joining, this is what you're getting from it. And just being selfless too, like, hey, you don't have to finish with me, continue. That's
Yeah,
awesome. That is good. And there's a lot of coaches out there like that too, and I encourage that as well. You're
yeah,
playing part in their role, and they may not always be with you, but that's okay. They continue and grow, and that's awesome. And I bet you all of those that you mentioned, they always will remember their first club that they joined. The one that
of
made them
course.
a player, the one that, supported them, the one that got them to that level. Nobody ever forget that. So they'll always come back and give you that kudos. So yeah, good job. Good job on that. I love it. And then you do have another aspect of, another club or league that you also manage is PTR, Pound the Rock. So talk a little bit more
Mhm.
about that as well too.
PTR sports. Um, I consider that in short terms, short definition, the sports event and competition. That's what it
Okay.
is. I can know it actually better. It's the show.
It's a
PTR
show.
is the show.
Okay.
So PTR is the show where guess what? All these clubs, these players, these everyone's been doing. They've been in the lab. They've been doing the trenches, working on it. And PTR is the show. That's where
Hmm.
you everything you've been doing in the background work. You go to
Hmm.
PTR and you go get a chance to showcase it. And PTR has been doing things from not just the league, but we've done showcases. Um, we done player profiling and we also highlight coaches as well. So we've been a part of different aspects of basketball. So that's why I consider probably the show is the best way
Yeah.
of saying
Yeah. I
PTR.
like that. Well, your tournaments are run well, from a personal
Thank you.
experience, so that's good. I like things run on time. I like things communicated
We try.
well. I like things being, giving you heads up on certain things. And I like fairness. And you don't charge, which is a key point. So
Oh,
kudos to you for that. For that spectator fee, we don't have to pay to come in. My goodness. Like whatever formula you use that work, can you share that with other tournament organizers? That will
I'll,
help us parents so much.
I will try. Well, I'm gonna clear something. The non-paying thing is not one of our major things. We do charge, but we usually don't charge a lot. That's the one thing.
Hmm.
We try to keep it fair. And this past summer, the reason why we didn't charge was I'm a parent as well. I'm a coach. So I'm sitting here going, for summertime, if I gotta leave work, if I work, and I gotta leave work to go grab my child and to drive across the city to
Hmm.
get there for a certain amount of time, that's not really cool. And, you know, to pay $10, $15 to get in to watch one game doesn't work out. So this summer, what I did, which was hard, it was a hard blow to make it work, but is really just to put people back in the gym to enjoy basketball again.
Hmm.
So, it was, I don't think ever you go to a Wednesday night and, we're able to use Vaughn Sportsplex and it's packed like a
Yeah.
Wednesday night. It's packed. you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and I think even they're surprised to see it so packed. They're like, this is what we expect for a tournament on a
It
weekend.
did.
Like
And you
this
know
is
what? It allowed parents to come with extended family members, not just one
yes,
parent or two parents. It allowed the whole family and community to come and support the team. And a lot, some of the feedbacks that I got back were it was good. They loved it. They allowed it. Like, I was able to cheer and see, like you said, all the work that they've been doing to put it out there. Whether they lost or win, it doesn't matter. It was just the fact that they were there to see that team and see their child, their grandson, their granddaughter, whoever is the athlete playing support them. They appreciated that. So that's one feedback I wanted to tell you that people
oh, I
love
love
that
hearing
part
that.
of it. Yeah, yeah.
I was sharing that with the group.
It became a family thing and not just okay, I'll drop today and you go today and we rotate or whatever the case may be.
Exactly. And you know what? And that's one of the reasons why we did it. Like I'll share back with the team but that's why we did it. Like we wanted to go back to just having people in the gym. Like I had a few stories that came across the plate where, they had family flying in and they never saw their nephew play or they never saw
Mm-hmm.
their grandson play. So they were
Mm-hmm.
able to watch the game and enjoy it and watch other games. And so that's one of the things I think we're missing.
Yeah.
And it just that whole family aspect of just coming and enjoying, right?
Yes.
And don't
Yes.
get twisted, we do need to charge. These rates are up there, so we need to make money somehow. And if there is a business side to this as well, but
Yes.
then also there's an empathy and there's a love for the game side that I try
Yeah.
to always lean on. So
Yeah, well, from my side, I know it's not always an easy decision. And I always tell the parents, just understand it's a business. Yes, they're going to help your kid, but it's also a business. You have to put gas in your car. You have to
yeah,
buy, the equipment. You have to pay some staff. You have to rent the facility. These facility fees have gone up. They have to
yeah,
pay their staff. They have to keep their lights on. Like at some point, yes, money has to revolve around it. It's just that sometimes as parents feel like we're like getting the short end of the stick. And of course,
Hey,
we're always gonna feel like that, whether it's a good intention or not. That's just the thing about it, right? And yes, as somebody says, nothing is free today.
nothing's
So
free.
yes, I always
There's
say
no,
it's as long as you're going in, it's a business, and there's gonna be something associated with it. That's okay. Just budget wisely and support it, and then think of the main key point. Is it really just about the money or really the benefits that your organization and your tournaments are providing for the kids, to be part of a team and grow and, develop, which is awesome. Another point and leading into all of the hard work that you do because you're thinking always from a parent's perspective, think of the coach perspective, you're thinking of a community perspective. And one other aspect that you're so well known for is the Black History tournament that you've been doing for how many years, like one of the very early establishments that's been doing it, bringing showcase between sports, culture, music, everything associated with it, all within, a 3-day pack thing. So talk about it. How did that start? And what can we expect for the next year?
um, it should have been longer, but it started off probably 7, 8 years. So when it started off, the first time I got the idea, I was watching it was Martin Luther King's birthday,
Okay.
and on Martin Luther King's birthday, there's all these basketball games going on, and I realized I don't remember a basketball tournament dedicated to Black history
Mm-hmm.
in the city. So if there was one, I don't recall it. I'm sorry if I'm disrespecting anybody, but I just don't recall it. So I was like, yo, we got to do this. And I slept on it the first year. I really did. So after that February, and I'm sitting there going in March, going, what? I didn't do this? Like I really did. Like I was really bugged by it. So when the following year came, I didn't joke around. We got it going. Shout out to Tony Sims, was my first guest to do that. Coach Leo was I think it was Coach Leo was my DJ at the time. From Bros. I also got Fresh from Get Fresh Company. He is one of my public speakers. Also, Fudge, a really close friend of mine, Fudge Lane,
Mm-hmm.
big ups to Fudge Foundation. They represent sickle cells, and they came in on
Okay.
talk.
Wow.
And then we started talking about that, and it was kind of crazy because I wanted to actually highlight that first time, which really, really made me really think about it, is that we had kids who were attending schools and they weren't covering Black history in schools.
Yes.
So
So
they're
we're
like,
learning about more American one as opposed to
yeah,
Canadian. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, you know what? This is something that's really needed, and we need to highlight it a little bit more, and we need to grow it. And it's grown. I remember
Nice.
starting off with like what 23 teams, 24 teams. We averaged probably around 60 teams, 60, 80 teams. We could do better
Wow.
than that. Um, so I think the highest was 80, but we averaged around 50, 60 teams usually for the tournament. And we had anywhere from women playing netball, coming out to play, to guest speakers, artists, drummers,
Hmm.
dancers,
Hmm.
poetry artists. Like the arts is there.
It's a
We
whole
just
vibe.
highlight. It's a whole vibe, right? And it's
Yeah.
like, and
Yeah.
and we just do our best to do it. And there's other things gonna be happening this year. So, anyone has
Nice.
some ideas, if we're gonna bring some suggestions to us, we'll take it. But yeah, we definitely want to build on that and really build the culture and the information. It's the information is actually more important. We don't The information is not shared well enough,
Hmm.
and in that type of atmosphere of sports, it's something that's easier to digest sometimes.
Yes.
You pass it by, you read a t-shirt, you see a poster on the wall. We encourage coaches to highlight something. I have something that we're going to do this year that's going to be really cool,
Nice.
just so that the conversation is going. You want the conversation to
Yeah.
happen, and you
Yeah.
want to support it. So
Yeah.
that's what we're looking at doing
I
for sure.
like that because it's not just come play, win or lose, go home, come back. Where you're getting something out of it. You're getting, people within the field. They love the sports too, but they're also doing something else that's within other aspect of their career to come there and share their knowledge with you. You learn from it, so you can. When the ball stops, there's other avenues in addition
Yes.
to it, and you're learning not just one particular person in history, but also current ones that are here, not just the ones that passed away. And last year or this year, because we're still 2022, I keep saying last year, because
I
we
know.
were there, and I love that. I love that you had the all the info sessions on the wall. It is readily there, available all weekend long. You can read it, all the different things, their background, their history. And then on your page, you continue to share. So that whole re-education enforcement is great. And I think it's well needed. Like we said, 360 knowledge. It's a great thing to continue doing it. But encompassing it on just that month alone, it's something that I believe everybody looks forward to. And I'm
That's it.
hoping 2023. You said 80 was the most. You're gonna reach 100 teams joining because now I'm gonna be sharing. People go sign up, educate yourself, go play some great ball, get to know other people in the community, and have some fun and make the game, the tournament fun. I know you do giveaways, you do like parents cheers, different things. It makes it fun. It's not just sitting there watch only your kid play and get out. So those are
Yeah.
you're unique, and I love that entrepreneurial and the creative side of it that you always bring to your tournament. So kudos to that. And
Oh.
anybody that runs a tournament, please connect with Chris to get different ideas to make it more entertaining. We go to Raptors game, you get all sorts of things,
Yep.
We want to make sure locally we can get the same thing. I get that vibe from yours when you do that. So kudos to that. I love it. I love it. I'm looking forward to 2024 for 2023. Man, I'm jumping
Yep.
already.
It's okay. It's coming. And last weekend of February, we're back at it again. So
Yep,
and
yep. Just
I'm,
keep
I'm
it
about, and
keep it going. Yes.
I want to actually highlight this one quick thing. I want to highlight. I didn't get a chance to really. I did, but last time we did this for last year, all our facilities were black owned facilities, which is
Nice.
people didn't catch that, but it was like they're black owned facilities. So um, we'll be
Nice. I
able to
like
continue
that.
doing that,
Yeah.
but I don't know. But I was really proud. I was really happy to be able to say, where every facility that you're using is a black-owned
It's a
facility.
black
So,
hole.
mhm.
Kudos to that. I'll clap to that. I'll clap to that. Or throw flowers or whatever they call it nowadays. What the cool kids say. I'm still trying to be cool
And
here. I'm trying. I'm trying.
my daughter's trying to keep me fresh. I'm like,
Yes,
whatever. Something like, okay, sure, whatever.
exactly. Another aspect though that I wanted to touch on is you're an author.
Oh yeah,
Yes. So yes, I mean, in the beginning, you mentioned all the different, you're you do different things, and we talked about running of your organization, we talked about the tournament side of it, we talked about the community work aspect of it, but talk about the book. How did it come up with? Because everybody going through this journey has a story to tell, right?
yes,
And most often, you only tell on the court side or when you're, talking to somebody else. But I want some of these athletes to realize that their journey is unique. And there
Yeah.
is somebody out there willing to learn whatever their struggles, whatever their triumphs are. There is a way to share that knowledge. So, how did you come up with it? What was the process for you? And where can we get the book?
Okay, so the process with the book was something that was an ongoing. Um, I think it even started just me getting cut from, my little, you think about how you got into sports, like personally get into sports and how you got better and, you know, where your ceiling was and who you kind of connect with, the people around you. And you're like, okay, so that's my story, right? And during my story, you know, I could have played, I didn't, I was supposed to go play college. I didn't do it. I just, I got some injuries and I was like, I'll forget. I'm not doing this. Like, I'm going to
Mhm.
focus on school. And then even for me, financial, I was in the financial field. I was doing a lot of work there, even though my background's community, doing a lot of stuff there, and ended up leaving and detouring. See, plug in the book there,
Yep.
right? And having a friend of mine ask me as help assistant coach his team,
Okay.
literally. And from assistant coaching his team to, shout out to my boy Garth Morris. He got me, and Calvin Chung, those times they got me going. And I went from assistant coaching team to coaching teams to running leagues, running the tournaments those time, being a
Mm-hmm.
madman running tournaments, and just then getting the organization going and watching it grow. And I just think it was like I was a guy in suits, and I went from a suit and tie to like track suits,
Yep.
right?
Did a switch.
And I was like almost like 20 years ago. So
Wow.
yes, yeah, it's crazy when I think about it. So that story alone, I thought about it, and then as you start coaching, you start seeing these kids develop, and they start going through. Some kids quit sports, and some kids get into college, university. Some kids go, D1, D2. Some kids, all these different avenues these kids go to. You start saying, okay, what me and some of my coaches are those well, prior coaches were like talking about it, and it just came to my head. I started jotting down things,
Mm-hmm.
and luckily, probably one of the highlights is that when COVID came, I got a chance to finish it, right?
Yes. COVID
So I was able
blessings.
COVID lessons to finish it, and I was able to throw all my thoughts in and get some research to help me out some few things and get it out there, and it's really just a navigating tool for student athletes, right? And not just student athletes, even parents,
Mm-hmm.
coaches. Like there's so much different things that's in the book, from from nutrition habits, to workout habits, social media habits, um,
Yes.
you know, even how to behaviors and trying to push yourself to the max, the levels where you want to see yourself, and also being okay to accept that it may not work out, and the journey may go down a bend a different way,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not necessarily the end of the road. It's just a new avenue that you got to
It's a
take.
detour.
It's a detour,
Yeah.
and detours will you'll still get to your destination that you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to go to. It's just
Mm-hmm.
not the way you expected to get there. And
Yep.
that's kind of how the whole idea of detours came about.
Wow, I love it. And what I will do is I'll put the link there, copy of the book
Yeah,
image there, so anybody
it's on
looking to
it's on Amazon.
purchase it. It's on Amazon. Yep. Search
It's
it
actually
up.
on Amazon. You can Amazon, put my name, put detours, the road to being a student athlete, and it's there. It's there. You know, get the book. If you get a chance to see me, I'll sign it for you, no problem.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah,
So I get to get your
but it's
autograph?
you get my autograph. I didn't even get the. I see it's funny. You can't even see it probably. It's my pen. Like I even have pens for the stuff.
Nice,
I
nice.
always use pens. Every time I
All
can't
right.
find a pen, I'm like, oh, yeah, I got a pen.
You got a
So,
pen. I'll get your autograph
but
and a swag with the pen. I
no,
like that.
I got the flag. I got you. I'll have a whole thing for you. We'll meet up again in my
For
my
sure.
wonderful my backyard, Rexdale.
Yes, yes. Shout out to Rexdale area. Well
Yeah,
underrated, but you are doing a great job putting the image out and letting people see that it's not more than just what the postal code is. There's a lot of life going on here. So many different things going on. And as I said, I posted earlier by your tryouts. Anybody within the Etobicoke, Ontario area, definitely hit up Motion Basketball. It's a great start, and they will help you determine whether you're in early, middle, or the end, and go through that journey. And it's a community base, so it's not just come in and you're at the top and somebody's at the bottom. They definitely help you. And yes, hello to Oliver. There was a comment earlier that says
The mic?
Coach Chris is a real one from Grizzly. So yes, just wanted to give you all of your flowers that you're getting throughout the day, throughout this. So yes, a lot of people appreciate all the work that you do and all the knowledge that you continue to share. And one
Thank
key
you.
point I wanted to, let in everybody that watch or listen to this after is sports takes you so many different ways, like your example of it. You could own your own league, you can own your own tournament, but you're also sharing the knowledge and write a book and still provide support for the community aspect of it. And I love it. I love it. Like you're a holistic person. But
Thank
one
you.
thing I wanted to do to also find out from you though, because a lot of parents are always wondering, like, we're in tryout season, right? And everybody has an expectation of where their child is, or whether they make the team or doesn't make the team. As parents, we have emotions, okay? And sometimes
Yes.
we're naive with our emotions, and sometimes we're very adamant with it. And from a coaching perspective, what are some of the skills that you feel has helped you be able to determine and support some of the athletes that come to you in a realistic way, having that conversation with the parents and say, hey, this is the skill level that they're at, but this is where we can get them to, like those conversations. So it's not like, okay, you're not good enough, go away, or you're too good, you're over there. Like, because like you said, there are some teams that only want you at a certain level, and some teams that said, we don't care, we'll start you wherever your level is, and we'll
Mm.
work with you. So what are some of the conversations that you will have, or some advice that you will give to the parents who are going through this process of trying to decide where their kids should be, and they may not be in tune with the kids' actual schedule, skill level?
That's a loaded question.
Yeah, sorry.
That's a loaded
I'll
question.
try to be simple questions going forward.
No, no, no. I don't mind. One thing about I love questions. It's crazy. Like
Okay.
I love questions to the point I
Okay,
think
good.
my kids are not asking me too many questions 'cause I love questions. So questions are good. It makes me
Great.
know that someone's listening. Um, you know, when you go on a tryouts and your child performs either, you know, they do exceptionally well or they don't do as well as they feel they can, or even the talent there is probably better or weaker than them. Um, when you see, you first have to look at what the coach used to. I like having kids ask the coach or whoever's organizing what they're looking for,
Okay,
right?
I like that.
Um,
Let the kids speak for
so
themselves.
then speaking of themselves, it's one thing about sports I really like is that you get kids need to be more sociable. They need to have and need to be express themselves a lot more. So asking the coach, what do you think? What do you think I need to work on? And let's be honest, some coaches don't have time. They might just spit out something. Hey, I'm being honest. I'm a real
Yep.
person.
Yep.
I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, no, no. Some coaches don't have time. Yeah, you need to work on handling, whatever. But at
Yep.
least you got what the coach is seeing because the coach didn't pick you. There's a reason why. And if he tells you one or two, three things, you take it, and then you got to self-examine yourself, and you got to really look at are you doing well in dribbling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you dribble enough, and so and you could tell if you know for yourself you're not dribbling enough to work on certain things, how you have to work on it, and parents can see it too, right?
Yes.
And and I'm also going to point out that when parents see other kids performing a certain level, don't think that your kid is like that sometimes. Sometimes you gotta look at it and be like, all right, so there's a process to get my child like that. So is my child doing those things to be like that kid on the court? And some kids have
Can
natural
you can
talent,
you
let's
just
be honest,
repeat
right?
that? Can you just because it's a great point, like, and we do have that comparison syndrome at times,
Oh yeah,
So
it's like
yeah,
yeah, you look at kids and like, oh, my kid's like, no, 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 no. It's that kid is maybe has a year, 2 years under his belt. Maybe they have a
hmm
personal trainer, or maybe they have natural skills. Like some kids just have natural abilities
yep.
with in sports or in basketball. So if your child is not doing those things, like right, and you don't see them practicing and you don't see them dribbling the basketball. You don't see them taking jump shots. You don't see those things. And you ask them, and they can't even tell you last time they did something. Then there you go. That's one hurdle. And it's an
Yes.
easy hurdle, but that's one hurdle. Next thing is the drive factor, and I love heart. Like I know a lot. I think a lot of the kids that I see, and other coaches probably see, if the kid's not even that good, but he has a lot of heart, like he's showing like he wants to get better,
Mm-hmm.
it tugs on your heartstring, and
Yep.
it really does. So you're like, okay, I may not have I may not have a spot for that child, and not every organization like this, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
but I may not have a spot, but I'll work at a development fee for that child.
Yes.
So at least come to practice, let's work on some stuff, or I have this extra day that I'll be doing some stuff. But it's very important for kids to be playing with other kids, and it's so taking a kid and having to develop all the time, like in a gym, one on one or two and one with a coach, is good. But there's a social aspect to it that needs to happen, where they need to be with a group of other kids playing and developing at the same time.
Oh
So
man, you are hitting the nail. Like it's so
mhm,
true. So true.
it,
Like
it,
driveway
it's
training is awesome, but you also need to put it into the actual court
exactly,
with it's a
yes.
team sports. Team
It's a team
sports.
sport. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't pass to yourself, Even Kobe
Well,
said, yo, even Kobe's like, you can rebound for me. So,
yeah.
so
You can get the machine, but it's not the same. Yeah.
it's just not the
Yeah.
same, right? So,
Yeah.
so being able to do that is very important. I told players who started playing, and I don't care. I've been doing this for a while. So when you do this for a while, you don't care anymore. So
Yeah.
I've told players who are really good, who are probably like eighth on a really good team, then drop 2 levels and play basketball. Because
Mm.
as much as you want to be that guy or play on a winning team that's doing all this great stuff, they may travel to the States, they may whatever, they may travel to the States, they may win championships, they may win
Hmm.
tournaments. Yeah, it's great. But if you're like at the ninth, tenth of that team,
Yeah.
you're not really getting the development you need to get better. So it's better you to drop 2 levels down, get on a team where you're actually, a starter or a six or something off the bench, so you get the practical style skills of playing basketball. Where guess what? Now you may play a strong organization and
Hmm.
you may get beat up and blown, but the difference is that you're on the court. So
Yes.
you're now learning a different set of skills.
Hmm.
You have no choice but to play.
Yep.
You have no choice but to figure out how to score the ball. You have
Yep.
no choice but to play defense.
Yep.
And those are things that when you separate yourself from winning games and look at the development of your skills. And that's where I do recommend to some people as well. Like,
Oh,
sure.
I have to clap for that because that's been my mandate for this whole year going through that, um, don't be scared about whether you play down or being in the development aspect of it because everybody has to start somewhere. We all have to
Yeah.
start somewhere. And I have a quote somewhere I'll probably share it later. Like, if you are the best player in any team for like 5, 6 years, you need a new team, right? You need a
Hmm.
different one because you need that challenge. You need a
You
different way.
do.
But realistically, as parents, sometimes I think it's a bravado, like, oh, they've always been there, now they have to go down. But like you said, it's not going down. It's the fact that you're the ninth person on a top whatever team versus
Hmm.
being a starter or a sixth person on another team that gets you more time on the court, more time to make mistakes, more time to correct those
Yeah.
mistakes, more
Yep.
time to learn and actually see if you really do enjoy being an athlete or not, or are you just there because you're gonna get a free shoes or something, you know?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
it's very important. It's
yeah.
very it's very important for development. And I remember there's one player I laugh at him. I'm not gonna call him the names, but so when I had a grade 18, I had to coach 2 teams. I had my one team, my 2 team. But that time I don't like calling 1 and 2. So I called my top team, they knew it was black, and my weaker team, my second team was called green, motion colors.
Hmm.
So 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 black was my top team, green my second team. I had this player who wanted to play on the black team. He should have played on the black team, but I put him on the green team.
Hmm.
And he looked at me like, yo, coach, you're distant, man. You're distant. Right? But I was like, no, 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 no. You're on the green team for a reason. I'm like, you can play a black team as much as you want, but you go on the green team,
Mm-hmm.
the ball's in your hand and your decision making has to change
Yeah.
because I'm getting three other players you got to play with that you can
Yeah.
work with. Not like the black team who has like eight, nine deep, but now you're playing the green team, there's like four of you guys who can play. So now you guys got to
Exactly.
work on your decision making changes. And it's nice to see that, during that year, he didn't like me, but he respected me.
Yeah.
But out of everyone on the black team and the green team, he's playing college university ball, right?
Wow.
Because of decision making. And he's someone that people know about in the state. I'm not gonna call him name, but he's someone he's doing his thing. And
Yes.
I look back going, I remember you're mad at me, but I watch him in the court and he's more calculating on things he does on the court just
Mm-hmm.
because those earlier times when you have the ball in your hand, you don't want to make the pass to that guy because he might fumble it. You know what? I got to take advantage of this guy. Or you know what? I got to get my teams in the right position so we can
Yeah.
score.
Yeah.
It's a different way to look at the game.
I love it. And I have to come back to comments in this section from Steph from Trusted Knee-Pad saying, though, you're the best coach. Coach Chris is a
Steph,
very patient coach, and he takes the time to explain what areas the players need to work on. Even when he substituted, he pulls the player aside and tells them what he expects. Patience is key, and lots of coaches need to work on this. Yes, I agree.
thank
Like
you so
just
much for
that
that comment.
feedback is so important, especially in the highlights of the game where, there's a reason why you're pulling them out. And there's a reason why you put them in, letting them know what's expected. It's not like, hey, you get up, go. Oh, you sit down. Hey, you, like that calculated and taking attention of each player, knowing their skill it's testament to why you're a pillar within the community. And I'm sure your peers see that and they support you, and obviously there's a parent here that supports it and appreciate that. So definitely keep going. And you've been at this for like what, since, we're not going to age it, but for a while.
A while, a
So
while,
you know what you're
a while.
talking about. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, shout out to those who are starting as well too, but I love to hear from
Yeah,
veterans that's, gone through it, knows all the ins and outs of it, and yet you're still humble and open, and especially talking about development. We don't hear that a lot anymore. That everybody wants top, top, top. Everybody wants, somebody
yeah,
that's ready, and that's fine. But there's a lot of parents and a lot of kids that are starting or need to cool it for a bit and get that fundamental aspect of it. And I'm glad that you continue to, preach that, you continue to support it, not just in your words, but based on the comments, you're also in your actions. And I always say action speaks louder than words.
louder than
Don't
words.
I always tell my kids, don't tell me, show me. And through that actions, it makes sense. So yes, kudos to you for that. Thanks, Steph, for commenting there and giving him his flowers. I appreciate that.
And I'm also going to say, it's not just me. I got the people I work with, my coaching staff, I've been blessed to have some really talented people to work with,
Mm-hmm.
where I learn, and I'm a student. I'm always a student. That doesn't matter how I look at it. So they come in and they say something like, "Oh, that's a good idea," or "I never thought of it that way." So you're always trying to develop. So, as much as I appreciate these comments towards me. Anyone knows me, I really deflect and say, "Yo, it's my team. Like I have a really strong group of people around me, and to really just impart in me,
Mm-hmm.
and I impart back in them, and we're always just trying to, iron sharp, just back and forth, trying
Back
to
and
figure
forth.
out
Yeah.
the better ways, and that's one thing I do appreciate the coaches I have around me and the managers and everyone around me is because they see that it's bigger than us, right? Kind of like
Mm-hmm.
bigger than Kristen, bigger
Yeah.
than us, and we need to do a little bit more. So,
Yeah. I
so as
like
much as
that.
I appreciate that, it's
Yes.
really, I also
So
have to
this
say my
goes to
team.
the whole motion organization. Like I said, it's a team sport. So obviously it's going to take a team to build it and a team to continue to support it. And parents are part of it. Your staff is part of it. The kids are part of it. So once you understand that it's not just an it makes
Yeah,
sense. And so kudos to you and your team for continuously, pushing that envelope and making sure that every kid belongs and then you're part of it. And once you're in your family, whether you leave, you're still a family. And that's the gist of it that I get
that's right.
from your organization, which is great to hear. And if anybody else, have worked with Coach Chris and want to give him his flowers, by all means, go ahead. He'll take it and pass it on to his team, and definitely they're very appreciative of all the words that you guys are giving to them. Another point I wanted to find out from you though is You already talked about, tips for parents being realistic about development versus high end or anything like that. But for the athletes themselves, because as parents, we could tell them one thing, they'd be like, oh, you don't know what happens when you're on the court. I know me and I watch these YouTube videos and I watch this and I want to play like Kyrie, I want to play like Durant and blah, blah, blah. And, so
Mhm.
how do you manage that and get that? I know you talked a little bit about one particular athlete, you got him to play a certain level for him to continue, but though
Mhm.
that was then. Now everybody wants the best highlight reels. They want to show only when their shot goes in, and doesn't even show how the ball was passed to them,
Yeah,
or
that's true.
and what happened after the ball went in. They weren't able to rebound it or anything like that, right? So how do you tell or talk to your athletes and continue to still stay focused on the course and still develop and not be so much about one end aspect of the game, but knowing who they are in their craft?
You know, that's a tough sell, um, especially nowadays. It's a real tough sell. Uh, so I'm gonna say what I do, but I'm gonna just talk about the environment first because
Okay.
the environment is very important to people understand. We're in an environment where you can move at will to somewhere else,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it's easy. It's easy to be, I'm here. I don't like it. I leave. I'm
Mm-hmm.
here. I don't like it. I leave.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, and without clear direction of what is going on with the team or the organization or the coaches, what's going through their mind, it's so easy to leave like this. It's the
Yeah.
society we have right now. So one thing I like to tell people, anyone, especially if you come to us, is like, give us 2 years. I just like the 2 year minimum. I like that
Okay.
2 year. I'm okay with dedicating 2 years to a team. Um, I don't care how athletic challenge they may be on the court
Yeah.
or whatever they be. I don't mind. Just give us the 2 years and see what happens in 2 years. And after 2 years, you can go where you want to go, or you can stay if you want to stay. And I'll
Mm-hmm.
open the door for other teams to come in and take your spot
Yeah.
in 2 years if you're
Yeah.
not getting it.
Yeah.
But I think the 2 year commitment is a very important thing. It's an unwritten rule. Um, it's a rule where it allows you to grow as a player and you as a coach. Um, and I was also as a parent too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can look at your child and they can, the child somewhere else is part of a strong squad or doing different things. But and if you go into this, you go to give some 2 years. That 2 years is
Yeah.
gonna be like, all right, well, how much you seen them grow? Is the shot getting better? Are the choices getting better? How's the
Mm-hmm.
team developing altogether? Is the team looking
Yes.
better? Is the team, are they going the right direction? And that to me is something that is very important. And that's one of the commitments I ask people, and the kids,
Yeah.
hey, you can go anywhere, and I'm not going to hold you down. I didn't birth you. You're not my kid. You don't got my last name, and if you do, unfortunately, I don't care for you. But, but, but if you give
Yeah.
us 2 years, see how you are in 2 years, and I'll see how you, and we'll do an assessment. And in
Yes.
those 2 years, either you know what, we're trending the right direction, you stay, or maybe it's not right for you, and I'll recommend you. I have no problem you going anywhere. That's one of the reasons why I think we're so respected as a club, in that I've
Yes.
seen kids come and go, and I can go right now and post, hey guys, I'm doing a motion drop-in for past players. And I'll get kids who left and went to other organizations and they still claim
They still
motion.
come. I love that.
So,
And there is another comment here for you saying, Coach Chris, you saved my child's life. The impact was much deeper than basketball. Very humble, but the coaching is deeper with him and it should be recognized. Heart, heart, heart. You are deeply appreciated, heart. Yes.
oh
So,
man, thank you.
yeah, Peculiar
Yeah.
Treasures Exchange. I'm not sure who's behind it, but thank you for your kind words towards Coach
Oh man.
Chris and his team. And yes, you are definitely saving lives. And just by the sheer fact that you talked about, 2 year plan. Yes, it's unwritten rule, but that's awesome. I think that support and its clarity from beginning helps because you're right. There's a lot of options right now. There's so many teams that's coming. I know because I share them too. So they all be coming like, where
You
are you?
know,
What do you
I
do? What are the, like I try to get as much info before I share. And it's great
Mhm.
to have options. But if you're consistently changing year over year from team to team, mid season, mid year, whatever, you're not really getting the development that you need. So I agree that it is good to give. a dedicated, 2 years, 2.5, a year, a full term, just to see
Yeah.
how it is, ask for feedback, have that open conversation. And as you said earlier, just be realistic with your skills, and don't compare
Mm.
to how that person shoots or how they dribble the ball. But what does your child do? Are they doing the same thing to get to that level? You can admire as opposed to compare, right? That's why I always say,
Hey,
yeah, there's a
I love
difference
that. That's
between
good.
that.
That's good. Man,
Yeah,
I
it's
need to
true.
start. You need a book. I need to get your book of quotables. Come on now, Giddy. We doing this all wrong here. You need a book of quotables.
My book, oh man, I don't know. I have to find out who's gonna star me when it turn into a big Hollywood movie or something. Nah, I'm good. I like
Oh,
behind the
this.
scenes. I'm good. I'm good.
I'm not. I'm the same way. I don't like the spotlight. The only spotlight I need is this light right now. Put it on my face. I don't need that type of stuff.
That's
But
it.
when you have words and you've gone through something, it's very important to put it away. And it's not. You shouldn't put it away. It's very, very good to document it,
Yeah.
right? And and once you document it, it doesn't mean you have to promote it. It just means it's been documented, and
Hmm.
you can always pull from it later on. You
True.
can say you did it. And I'm very big on that. Like, once you've done it, no one can't say you can't do it. You've done
Nope.
it. You've shown it, and that's it. You may
That's
not
it.
be it may not be a blockbuster movie book, you know, but it's been done.
It's been done. Yes. You got a check mark. Move on. Complete it. I like
Yeah,
that. I like that. And this is one of it because I know I've been talking to you in person at various events. I'm like, I have to
I
get you
know.
on here. I have to get you. People need to hear your story. They need to hear all the great things and your advice and your knowledge and why your organizations continue to thrive over 20 years going on. Some are starting and they need this support. Some may get to the point where there's a hiccups and they might want to give up, but hey, don't give up because, like you said, as long as you have the clarity, understanding from the beginning and what your vision is, why not continue? And yours is always being about the kids in the community and not just the sports. Exactly, it's bigger than Chris. It's bigger than you, and I love that. I love that whole aspect of it. Um, One thing else I want to find out is you already support a lot of kids. Of course, there's a lot of lives that you've saved based on the comments that we're getting. Um, what other things that you feel is missing in the whole basketball community that you're hoping that maybe as you work on your peers or those with other leagues or clubs can maybe combine together to get that going? Because as much as we feel it's big, it's a very small community as well. You get to
Everything.
know a lot of people.
Yeah.
So what are some things that you feel maybe missing that maybe, there could be like a coalition of some sort to sort of work on it to help alleviate it for both kids and the parents, or even you guys that own the clubs and manage it from your side?
That's a very good question. And like I said, I got a lot of things I could talk on that. We don't have time for that. So
Yes,
that's
don't
more
worry. We're
part
almost at
two.
the 60-minute mark, but don't worry. We're good
Yeah.
to go.
No. But a lot of us just gotta check our egos. Um, I'm gonna just be black and white. Just gotta check our egos. Um,
Hmm.
Everyone thinks that, they're doing something special, and we're not really doing anything really special. It's personality driven. We're in a personality driven um, um, industry.
Hmm.
So your personality will draw people in, and what you do with it is how people is if people stay. Very key, right? Your personality will draw people in, but what you do with it, people either stay or leave. So, egos need to go to the side. We need to put it to the side and find a common ground that we all can get on and build on it. And
Yeah.
common ground doesn't mean like we're all trying to get our kids to be in the NBA. A common ground could be just, how many kids can we get? How many black boys can we get? I'm just giving an example. How many black boys can we get up in university?
Yep. And graduate.
You know, and
Simply just
graduate.
start graduating high school. Yeah.
That's it. So
Yeah.
those are like, and those are the type of things that we don't focus enough on. Um, and I shouldn't say black boys, even just or just boys in general, because boys are just a headache. So just getting boys up there, right?
Yep.
So I'm not being discriminated. It's just really how do we do better on that, or how those are the type of challenges that we need to start looking at. Those
Hmm.
they don't really they're not something that's really out there and transparent that people are like, oh, that's it. Like, no, those are things that are happening, and it affects the community, and it's going to have a big effect on the community in 5 years, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so if you look at this aspect of a kid who's wilding out or acting out in grade 7, grade 8, what programs, what are we going to do as a collective group to curve those type of behaviors and try to do it on the same page? So even if he leaves my organization and goes to another organization, there's
Mm-hmm.
something similar there. So he's seeing the same thing or she's seeing the same thing.
Yes.
Those are things that we should really start looking at, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree. And then as a comment says, yes, it's not all about the MBA, getting a scholarship and finishing school. Exactly. Like I said,
yeah,
sports is one aspect of who you are, and it can help you, have a career, have a life, but it doesn't always have to lead to the NBA. Being a
doesn't.
positive peer group, definitely, that's one of the key points too. So, yeah, we have to make it something that's enjoyable and not dreaded. And we can't divide because, like I said, it's a team sport. This is not chess. It's not
Yeah,
golf. It's team. You're
it's
not
not
the
tennis.
only
It's
person on the court.
yeah. And
Yeah.
that's one thing that's, I'm not sure you can ask this question later on, but those are one of the things that's really big about sports. I love is that, especially for everyone all locked in their devices, all these kids locked in on their devices. When you go on a sports team, I don't care if it's basketball, football, hockey, whatever it may be, these sports teams, you
Mm-hmm.
have to get out your shell. You have to be sociable, you have to communicate, and
Yep.
you have to step it up. So if I'm part of a team that everyone's working hard and I'm not working hard, I'm bringing that down. I'm bringing the team down. Team doesn't bring me up. I'm bringing the team down.
You're bringing
You
down.
know,
Yep.
and that's the reality check for yourself, and it's a gut check and self reawareness of who you are as an individual that you need to do. And that will let you know, do you want the sport enough to be here? Because you're spending mom and dad's money, right? So like,
Oh,
so
we're
do I?
spending
Am
those
I?
COVID money, as I call it, COVID tax, which is
It,
coming.
it, it's coming, right? So,
Yeah,
just spend. So that's the reality check. Like, do I really want this enough, or do I need to do something else?
yeah.
And if you are part of the group and you're talking, and I've seen kids come out of the show, it's a social group. They start communicating, they start networking, and they start hanging out, and they start doing these little things on the side, and they're smiling. This
Hmm.
kid who's by himself, those are the joys of being in a team sport, is that you're allowed to share your personality, but you all have a common goal.
Yes, yes. Oh
And
man, you are so amazing. I love it. Like I've learned so much from you. I feel like I'm back in school. It's September. I'm in school. I'm in class with Mr. Chris Campbell here, teaching 101 etiquette on how to be a team player in
oh
sports
man, you
and
gotta stop.
not make it all about you. Definitely, definitely bigger than Chris for sure. So those were my questions, with the business side of it and all. But I wanted
Mhm.
to end it off on a lighter note. And thank God you were smiling through all, because I do ask tough questions and sometimes be like, oh my God, what is that? So I'm glad you
Oh man,
smiled through it all
I
and
love
you answered
questions. I
it
told you I love
gracefully.
questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Who or what inspires you? Above all the things that you've gone through or you're still doing and everything, like who or what has been inspired to you?
That's a tough, I have different, it all depends what I'm going through.
Okay.
Like my parents still inspire me on things to do. I have there's people in the community, and like I said, I'm a fan of a lot of community people. Like you know, I look what people's goals are,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I'm inspired. I get inspired off of that. Um, and it could be a small thing, right? Like I'm looking at like, what you're doing, your platform right here, and I'm inspired by it. Like that you're doing this, and it's something that is needed and it's real, right? You're doing this from a real warm place and a real place, and you're sharing it from you're sharing your experiences. So these are the type of things that I find I draw my inspiration from. Um, from kids, like I just
Yeah.
hanging around kids or just driving or whatever. So it all depends. I'm a very moody person. So and I laugh. So anyone who knows me and especially my players, they'll laugh because I tell everyone I'm a very moody person. I'm a very, very moody person. So because I'm such a moody person, I depending what type of mood I am, it's depending how I draw from inspiration. So
Nice.
it could be music, it could be biblical, it could be hanging with kids, friends. It could be, like I said, it's just but I find something in everything,
And
and
everything.
that's
And that's what
in
makes you
everything.
human.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's an ongoing thing. Like, we sometimes people are so nearsighted on, what the happiness is,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not that really far.
No,
It,
no.
it's how you adjust the lens, right?
Yes.
So
Ah, see, another gem right there. Happiness is not that far. It's how you adjust the lens. I like that. I'm gonna quote that. I'm gonna quote that. I love it. I love it. It's so true. And then you know what? It fluctuates because we're human. Different days, like even Mother Nature, we get 4 seasons in
yeah,
one day. She goes through her moods
yeah,
too, right? Well,
yeah,
based on where we are. I don't know about other parts of the world, but yeah, I feel like I get 4 seasons in one day, and we
yeah. We
adjust
do.
accordingly,
We adjust.
literally. Yep. And lastly, with you have your book out there, we have your stories, giving you your accolades and all. Let's say we were talking about movies before. If we were to make a movie about you, what would it be called and who would star it?
A movie about me. All right. Playing my role,
Mm-hmm.
I was like Omar Epps. Watched it
Not
when I was like, who? The young people, who is
Juice.
Omar Epps? Yep.
Juice. Okay.
Fell in love with Juice at a young age. Juice was like my jam. I love
Yep.
that movie.
Yeah.
I could stay here and probably recite that. So Omar Epps has always been, and even some of the stuff he's done after that, I really like Omar Epps from, Higher Learning and loving basketball and stuff like that. Like
Yep.
Omar Epps, like he's like a good dude. So that'll be the guy. I think
Okay.
that'll come across my personality.
I like that. I
Juice.
like that. And
Yeah.
what would you think you would want to call it?
Bigger than Chris.
I like that. Bigger than Chris. The Chris Campbell story starring Omar Epps. I like that.
Right. Yep.
I'll,
That.
I'll leave it as that. And I wanted to thank you so much for definitely coming on here, sharing all the great tips. I'm going to recap it for everybody to watch. This is a must. Thank you for being the first guest for my season 5 here. Um,
Yes. Thanks.
your organization and your tournament are one never to be missed if you're in the Toronto area for sure. And I do have a coach down in the States that's looking to come here. I may connect you both and see if he can come here and make it even bigger and, support and everything like that. Because he has the same mindset as you. So
Just let me
definitely,
know.
yeah, for sure. But thank you so much, Chris. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to all the people that, joined in, shared your comments. Nobody asked questions. I was the only one asking all these weird questions. So hopefully I asked all the questions needed and answered everybody's concern. But if you're looking to for a team, their tryouts are still coming and still happening. Contact Motion Basketball, set up, register, get all the right information, make sure you're there on time. All right.
Mhm.
Follow the process.
Especially from you.
Yes,
Hmm.
on time is key because it's going to be a long lineup and be patient and definitely get there and show them what you got. For parents, if you have any questions, especially life after sports or anything like that with your kid, Coach Chris is there to connect with you and support you. So thank you so much for being part of the Baller Mom community. I
And th
appreciate it. Thank you, thank
no,
you, thank
and
you,
thank
thank
you once
you.
again for doing this. No,
No,
thank you for doing this. This is important. Like, I was able to do some stuff with my boy Steven, and these things are very important. These conversations are very important. So, big ups to you. I love that what you're doing the platform. I need my
thank
t-shirt.
you.
I don't care. I need my t-shirt too. So I need my little swag. I'll walk around and talk about it. And we're looking forward to having you over your table at the next Black History event as well.
Yes, yes, I will be there for sure. I'll be there talking to people, cheering. I'll save my voice because I scream a
Yeah,
lot.
good, good, good. Oh,
That's
that's all
what
right.
I do.
I got the lemon water, the warm lemon water. We got you.
Okay, good, good, good. I like that. Thank you so much, Chris. Have a good rest of your evening and thank you,
You too.
everybody. All right,
Yeah.
bye.
Good night, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for your wonderful comments. Appreciate it.